JOM Durian 6.
Very good afternoon to Tan Sri Navaratnam, YB Rajiv, Dato' Asmawi, Tuan Abdullah, Tuan Yahya, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming out today to support JOM Durian 6, the 6th JOM Durian. So I'm just trying to pull up my speech here. I want to take this opportunity to wish all our Muslim friends Selamat Hari Raya Aidilfitri, and thank you very much Children Rich Society for inviting me to launch this meaningful event. Today we are all gathered here for one purpose alone, and that is to raise as much funds as we can for Children Rich Society. I repeat, we are here for one purpose alone, to raise funds for Children Rich Society, not to eat durian. That's not our main purpose. And this Children Rich Society is not just for any ordinary children, it is for children with terminal and incurable diseases. This is our 6th year having a JOM Durian in Subang Jaya, and some of us are here to savor as many durians as we can. But let's also remember that today we are participating and contributing to fulfilling the wishes of these precious children. I'm now a mother of 2 daughters, and I understand how it feels like to hope and want the best for my children. Children have childlike faith and do not know how to pursue selfish gains. I understand how important wishes are to children. Their motives are pure. Learning from my 2 daughters, I see how fulfilled wishes bring smiles to their faces. Unfortunately, not all children have the chance to live until adolescent years. It is not only the children, but their parents and family members who will be affected when a child is terminally ill. The Children Rich Society of Malaysia has a noble aim and is doing an excellent job in identifying this specific need to bring back a spark of hope and joy into the lives of these children and their family. I'm very thankful to have been given the opportunity to spend time with Muhammad Sirajuddin. I met this 11-year-old boy for the first time and also for the last time on the 4th of August this month. He was diagnosed with bone cancer and his wish was to take a ride in a Ferrari. His wish was fulfilled as he was driven around in Subang Jaya in a red Ferrari car, sponsored by Empire. Siraj, as called by his loved ones, has shown me courage, despite his condition and having one of his legs amputated. I remember the joy and countless times he had the white smile on his face as he had the ride of his life. Siraj passed away on 15th of August, just 11 days after I saw that smile. Now he reminded me again of the significance of what we are doing here. Since its birth in May 2008, 300 over children have had their wishes fulfilled. This could not be possible if not for the generous support of public and corporate sectors. However, to continue their function, they will require funds. It will be most unfortunate if Children Rich Society receive wishes for children but is unable to fulfill them because of limitation of funds. Imagine those children having to go through another round of disappointment during this last moment of their lives. As such, I, as the State Assemblyman for Subang Jaya, feel very obliged to remind us all that we are embarking on a significant act when we part with our RM20 today. You did not pay RM20 ringgit to eat durian. You paid RM20 to fulfill the wishes of children in Malaysia. So, we are here to give and not to receive. Summit has so graciously provided some durians in return for your generosity. So I hope we Malaysians will not complain if the durians are not up to our expectations. If you do not have enough durians for you, if you find the queue is too long, you have to wait too long, please don't complain, because again I remind all of us, today is not about durian. Today is about fulfilling the wish of dying children. And we must re-examine our motives if we find ourselves complaining about anything here today, about the weather, about the queue, about the volunteers not being friendly, the police is not smiling when they are opening the durians. I hope you don't hear any of these complaints, because every single volunteer you see here today have volunteered their time and their effort to come so that we can raise sufficient money for these children. Now, I want to take this opportunity to remind us all, adults here, that children are precious and that we must do everything we can to protect the little ones under our care. Very recently, we had a case of Adik Nawal who died in the car as a result of heat stroke in USJ4. And something like this should never happen in our neighborhood. And not just Adik Nawal, we also had the case of Yeoh, also in Subang Jaya. And parents and adults must be reminded that when we see a child wandering alone, when we see a child unattended, whether it's in a vehicle or on the street, it is our responsibility, not just the parents' responsibility, to make sure that our kids are safe. It is time like this that we must put aside our differences, our race, our skin color, our background, and remind ourselves that this could be our child, and we must protect every child as though they are our very own flesh and blood. So some things in this country should never be politicized, like the interests of children and also their education. And so I hope effort like this, will continue for a very long time. We'll put all our effort together to make sure that we keep this NGO alive so that the children, will benefit from this NGO. I want to especially mention Aini. Every year I see you here. Her daughter passed away 7 years ago, and it's because of her daughter, in her memory, this NGO has been set up, and she was a resident of SS40. So thank you so much. I understand how you feel as a mother, and I get very emotional when it comes to issues like this because it affects us deeply. So thank you so much for lending your child and her legacy and her memory for us here today. For Yeoh, where's Yeoh? Yeoh also is a neighbor of Ivy, and he was also personally very emotionally affected when the child left us. And so that's why this kept him going. It's very difficult to organize an event like this. And so I'm so glad to see everybody putting aside their interest and just to make this event a success. So it's very heartening to see, very encouraging to see. We are having this in Summit Mall, but we have Summit Pyramid here to support this occasion. Even though it's not held in their mall, we have Empire here. So if the malls can put aside their competition for one day and come together and support it, we should all, politicians and ordinary residents, put aside all our differences and remember to protect our children. So in support of Children Rich Society, on behalf of the Selangor State Government, I have pledged RM5,000 ringgit for this event, and I'm going to top up another RM5,000 ringgit.